Okay, we need to talk about Liverpool, because what is happening right now is not just a slump, it's a full-blown collapse. And the numbers paint a picture far darker than anyone expected when this so-called £450 million super team was assembled. This is not the Liverpool of last season, the Liverpool that under Arne Slot opened the campaign with 9 wins, 1 draw, and just 1 defeat, sitting top of the Premier League and top of the Champions League group, with the swagger of a champion.
The start of the second half was a disgrace.
Till made it 2-1 next, didn't it, Jay, really? I mean, gets away too easy there, 6 at 7.
Back then, they had scored 23 goals, conceded only 8, and looked like a machine built to dominate English football for years to come.
And Gakpo and Szoboszlai.
Fast forward to today, and the fall is catastrophic. Liverpool were humiliated 4-1 at Anfield by PSV in the Champions League, a defeat so heavy that it pushed them out of the top 8 and left them fighting for their lives in a group that we're supposed to stroll through.
After they scored the second goal, I think we had our chances to equalize, but not for the first time this season. We don't take the chances we have.
It was their 9th loss in the last 12 matches across all competitions, a disastrous run unseen at the club for 70 years.
Oh, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. And I probably didn't give PSV enough respect when you see them 13 games in the domestic league, 34 points. But I still expected Liverpool to turn up tonight and win and show a reaction. 9 defeats in 12 games. I mean, that is disastrous. That is a team that is lacking any self-belief.
And the Premier League table makes it even worse. 12th place, 6 wins, 6 defeats, 18 goals scored and 20 conceded. Numbers absolutely unbecoming of a team that just lifted the league title. Arne Slot is in a hole, a deep one, because it's one thing to struggle after injuries, but another to collapse after spending £450 million, breaking their own transfer record twice to sign Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak, players who were supposed to elevate the squad, not sync with it. Everything is failing at once. Van Dijk's form is a massive worry.
Towards the near post.
Konate is struggling badly and keeps committing catastrophic errors.
Pepe into the penalty area, drawing it down low, hitting the post.
Kirkes isn't functioning at all.
A ball from from Junior that gets inside for Gus Till. Kirkes switches off, he gets inside and he puts the ball in the back of the net. And from that moment, then you think, can they respond? And Liverpool just haven't got that fight at the moment. They haven't got the belief, individually and collectively.
Salah has become a defensive liability.
It's to Kirkes. Two of the new signings. Missed by Dorgu. Salah!
And Isak, the £125 million striker, still isn't up to Premier League speed.
And Alexander Isak, he's just come off the bench.
This team looks nothing like the juggernaut Klopp built. Under Jurgen Klopp, they were mentality monsters, and Slot initially seemed to enhance that mentality last season. But now, all of it has evaporated. The hunger, the belief, the identity, gone.
The only way to go is to go through now, and what I mean with that is, we just have to face where we are in and fight really hard. And would be nice if we don't every time get this knock of a goal we concede, because it's not only conceding a goal, it's also the feeling, I think, at least the feeling I have, and I think the players will probably have the same in our fans as well, that after 45 minutes you don't expect to be 1-1, you expect to be up. And instead of being up 5 minutes after half-time, again we concede our 10 minutes out.
And if you look at Liverpool today, you see a team with slumped shoulders, defeated expressions, and a body language crisis that screams fragility instead of dominance. No one is saying body language alone wins titles, but when a team loses 10 of its last 12 games, the eyes don't lie. Confidence is drained out of the squad, and every setback feels heavier, every mistake more fatal, every match harder to recover from. Liverpool are not just losing, they're collapsing under their own expectations. And this is the brutal truth. A £450 million super project is failing miserably. And unless something changes fast, this could become the most embarrassing title defense in Premier League history. Because what we are seeing is not just tactical problems, it's psychological, structural, and deeply worrying. And the question everyone is asking now is, how did it fall apart so quickly? What really went wrong? And how much of this is on Arne Slot? Let's break it down. Liverpool's collapse doesn't start with Wirtz or Isak or Salah. It starts with a structural flaw so deep, so repetitive, so damaging that no signing on earth can survive it.
I mean, Konate, listen, it gets to the stage now where you actually feel you shouldn't criticise him because you feel, I mean, you're watching something that's actually, it's not nice to watch.
Liverpool concede first in almost every game that matters, and when a team already lacking confidence gets punched in the face that early, everything falls apart. The numbers are brutal. They've conceded the opening goal in 10 of their last 12 matches, and against PSV, it happened again after just 5 minutes.
And they're already behind at Anfield in the Champions League.
This Liverpool side can't take control of games, can't settle, can't impose themselves. And unlike last season, they're no longer capable of fighting back. Last year, Slot's Liverpool were known for big comebacks, for tactical tweaks that flipped matches, for mental strength. Now, they've only won one match after conceding first, away at Eintracht Frankfurt.
Frankfurt kommt, Freunde. Was ein krasser Pass. Guter Ball auf die Außen. Eine Haken oder so.
Everything else has been a long, painful slide where every early goal feels like a death sentence. And this is where the real tactical autopsy begins. A chain of issues so specific and so serious that they explain exactly why nothing is working. Virgil van Dijk is in the worst spells of his career. The natural leader, the commanding presence, now looks frustrated, late to challenges, distracted. The handball for the PSV penalty came after he wasted energy arguing with the referee about a corner. Seconds later, he was booked for a rash tackle. And the moment where Serginho Dest ran past him with an embarrassing ease for the fourth goal sums it all up. Van Dijk still has world-class tools, but his concentration has slipped, and Liverpool are paying for it. But Konate is an even bigger problem. His season has been a highlight reel of mistakes. The penalty versus Man City, the free header he gifted Haaland, the poor displays versus Palace, Galatasaray,
For Konate, that pass is a little short.
Brentford,
And Shada is in plenty. He's in oceans here. Shada versus Ashvili.
and now that shocking moment against PSV where he completely misread the bounce, stepped under the ball, and left the goal wide open for the third. If Liverpool had managed to sign Marc Guéhi, Konate wouldn't be starting. Slot doesn't fully trust Joe Gomez. Leone is out for the season, and Konate keeps producing errors that simply can't happen at this level. This isn't a dip, this is a pattern, and it's destroying Liverpool's defensive structure. Then, there's Kerkez, who arrived with excitement but is struggling badly. He lost his place before the international break. Robertson returned, then got injured, giving Kerkez another chance. And yet, he hasn't taken it. Dest and Gus still targeted him from the first whistle, and the worrying part was seeing him argue with Van Dijk seconds before being caught out again for PSV's second goal. You can see the fear in his teammates' reactions. He doesn't arrive on time, he loses runners easily, and in 1v1 duels, he only chases shadows, just like in that second PSV goal. Piece by piece, the picture becomes painfully clear. If your defense concedes first almost every match, if your leaders are out of form, if your center backs collapse under pressure, if your left back can't defend his channel, then no Wirtz, no Isak, no Salah, no big signing can save this Liverpool. Liverpool's issues don't end with their structural collapse, their inability to control matches, or their record-breaking habit of conceding first. Another crack in the foundation is now impossible to ignore, and it's the one that makes their entire right flank a defensive disaster. Mohamed Salah has quietly become a defensive liability. Whoever plays at right back, whether it's Curtis Jones covering the role while Connor Bradley and Jeremy Frimpong remain unavailable, is inevitably left isolated and targeted the moment Salah decides not to track back. And this pattern has repeated every single week. You could see it clearly against PSV. For the second goal, Mauro Jr. simply walked past Salah without so much as a challenge. And from that moment, the move was built freely until the Dutch side restored their lead, exposing once again a flank where the winger offers no help under pressure. This has been a season-long problem that stems directly from Slot's tactical instructions last year, when Salah was asked to stay high up the pitch with minimal defensive responsibility, a choice that made perfect sense when he was delivering goals, assists, and chaos every week. But when that output drops and opponents recognize that the right wing is undefended, the entire system collapses. Chelsea openly admitted they targeted that side before facing Liverpool, with Marco Kurela saying it bluntly. And Manchester City did the same through Nico O'Reilly and Jeremy Doku, repeatedly overloading the flank while Salah offered almost no help to Connor Bradley. Salah cannot be expected to carry the entire attack alone, but when he is not converting the chances he gets, he must contribute more off the ball, and right now, the defensive effort is nowhere to be seen, turning his side of the pitch into a gift for every opponent. And then comes the second half of Liverpool's £450 million problem, Alexander Isak, a record-signing striker still nowhere near ready. He came on for the final half hour and couldn't change anything. In 10 appearances, he has scored just one tap-in against 2nd Division Southampton in the Carabao Cup. And his only Premier League contribution is an assist for Cody Gakpo against Chelsea. Against PSV, he attempted a snapshot, but the sharpness simply wasn't there. And more importantly, he still cannot execute the aggressive pressing that Slot demands from his number 9. Slot himself admitted after the match that Hugo Ekitike's back spasm weakened the second half press, but the real problem was that Isak couldn't step up to maintain the intensity. Ekitike is becoming a fan favorite, not just because he scores, but because he brings energy, aggression, and hunger, traits that Isak has not shown since arriving. And that leads to the unavoidable question: is this just a short-term issue linked to fitness and confidence, or something deeper? The psychological weight of a British record fee can crush even experienced players, but Isak's situation is even heavier, given that he arrived unfit after forcing his exit from Newcastle, skipping training sessions, and joining a team in total instability, decision that hurt Newcastle, Liverpool, and Sweden, who ended up bottom of their World Cup qualifying group. The most alarming part is that Liverpool's recruitment team, Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes, two of the most respected in football, considered Isak the perfect fit. They had tracked him long before Liverpool lifted the title, and alongside the signing of Florian Wirtz, the plan was clear. This duo would elevate Liverpool to an even higher level. Instead, Isak has landed without rhythm, without form, and without clarity, joining a squad whose structure is collapsing around him. What was supposed to supercharge Liverpool has only added another layer of crisis to a season spiraling out of control. Liverpool's collapse out of possession isn't just about Salah and Isak, it's a much deeper structural problem rooted in the very mechanics of their pressing. Last season, Luis Diaz as the number 9 and Dominic Szoboszlai as the number 10 were the engines that set the tone for Slot's entire counter-pressing identity. Two players who hunted aggressively, compressed space, and forced mistakes high up the pitch. But this year, Diaz is gone, and Szoboszlai began the campaign in a deeper role, leaving a glaring vacuum in the most important phase of Liverpool's game. Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz were brought in to replace that intensity, but both have needed time, and Liverpool simply don't have any to spare. Slot has tried to fix it with an asymmetrical 4-3-3, shifting Szoboszlai back into the number 10 role to lead the press, but the impact has been marginal at best. The intensity numbers haven't fallen dramatically, as the rolling PPDA graph shows, yet the pressing impact has collapsed. Opponents are adapting, more long balls, fewer risky passes in their own half, and Liverpool conceding first almost every week means rivals no longer need to invite pressure. Last season, Liverpool averaged 4.4 regains in the attacking third. This season, that's down to 3.8, a huge drop in a team built on suffocating high pressure. Manchester City exposed it. Nottingham Forest exposed it. PSV Eindhoven ripped it apart. Even when Szoboszlai's return briefly lifted the intensity against Villa and Madrid, the fragility was obvious. Against Manchester City, a failed high press with Liverpool's first wave, beaten far too easily, opened the door for the move that produced the opening goal. Slot's team recovered their shape, but the warning was crystal clear. This pressing unit is no longer synchronized. The timing is late, the distances are off, and players like Wirtz and Ekitike still don't understand the triggers that defined Liverpool's dominance last season. And then there's the Luis Diaz-sized hole. His second goal for Bayern against Paris Saint-Germain recently showed exactly what Liverpool no longer have: the relentless drive to win the ball back, to chase the lost causes, to force the opponent into panic. Without that presence, Liverpool no longer press teams into mistakes. They allow them to build, breathe, and dictate. It's not just a dip, it's a complete shift, and it's one of the biggest reasons this £450 million super team is falling apart. Liverpool's winger depth has collapsed in a way that almost feels self-inflicted, and it all started with one massive blind spot. The club never planned properly for life without Luis Diaz.
Luis Diaz picked out brilliantly,
Selling him to Bayern Munich had sensible logic behind it, yes, but failing to bring in a direct replacement has created a void that grows more damaging every single week. Suddenly, Liverpool entered the season with only 2 true senior wingers, Mohamed Salah and Cody Gakpo, and neither of them can replicate the explosiveness, ball carrying, and 1v1 threat that Diaz brought to this system. Federico Chiesa is viewed as nothing more than a bench option.
This is Mohamed Salah. What a ball, what a touch by the goalkeeper. Comes out, oh, Chiesa!
Rio Ngahoma is just 17 and still miles away from being a reliable contributor. And while Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz can stand out wide, it simply isn't their natural habitat. Wirtz's best match as a makeshift winger came in Europe against Real Madrid, but the Premier League exposed him brutally. Away at Crystal Palace and Manchester City, he vanished completely, offering no width, no penetration, and none of the off-the-dribble danger that this Liverpool attack desperately lacks. Ekitike isn't the answer either. Neither he nor Wirtz are 1v1 dribblers who can beat their man, stretch the pitch, and carry Liverpool upfield. And that's where the absence of Diaz is felt the most. He didn't just receive the ball, he advanced the team. He dragged them up the pitch, he forced defenders into panic. Without him, Liverpool feels slow, predictable, and static. The knock-on effect is visible everywhere. Liverpool's build-up phase has deteriorated sharply this season, and with Trent Alexander-Arnold gone, they no longer have a defender who can break pressure with a single world-class diagonal or long pass. Even when Slot instructs them to go long towards Salah or Gakpo, the ball simply doesn't stick. Their turnover percentage tells the story. Salah losing the ball 38% of the time compared to 35% last season. Gakpo is jumping from 26% to 31%, while Diaz in his exact role operated at an elite 24%. Without a winger who can hold the ball, Liverpool can't breathe, can't build, and can't escape pressure. The center forward issues only deepen the hole. Despite their size, neither Isak nor Ekitike operate like proper target men. They don't hold the ball long enough to relieve pressure, and they don't dominate the duels Liverpool need to progress upfield. Press resistance has dropped, transitions are messy, and the team is constantly forced backwards instead of driving forward. So yes, Slot has a mountain to climb, and it starts in January. Liverpool absolutely must sign a center back with Marc Guehi, the obvious priority. And they must already begin planning who can replace Luis Diaz long term, and who can give Salah the oxygen he needs on that right wing. And Slot must focus on the mentality of his squad, because this team looks disconnected, distracted, and fragile. Players who were once machines now look like they've forgotten how to play football. The adaptation of Wirtz and Isak is non-negotiable. They are elite talents who will one day dominate the league, but only if Slot finds a structure that helps them settle. He must also stabilize his fullbacks. Robertson is still reliable, but Kerkez is drowning, and both Connor Bradley and Frimpong need to get back to full fitness. Liverpool will improve when healthier, but Slot must stop the freefall now. He cannot allow a £450 million rebuild to become the worst title defense in English football history.